Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you guys here on this. Let's see what the date is. It's Wednesday, the 22nd of May, 2024. Listen, don't pay any attention to that, what looks like a third ear sticking out of my head. That's just a camera abnormality. Oh, anyway, listen, guys. So we've started our memberships on the channel, and got a number of members now, and I hope to get more. And there's one service that's provided to the membership that I haven't quite started yet, and that's a premiere. Okay, so the members out there are going to get to view the video before anybody else for a short period of time. So that's coming. I'm working on that. I got to figure out the what time zone I'm in, what time zone they're in, what my time is compared to their time zone, and I got to coordinate the time zones. So that's going to take me a little bit to figure that out on the computer thing, you know. But I'll probably have it very soon, so just be patient. If not this show. So thank you for you guys out there who have subscribed to the channel. I really appreciate that. It really helps the channel. Already, you know, got a few subscribers. It'd be nice to have a few more. So, and I've only made it the price of a cup of coffee a month. Right? So if you guys enjoy the channel, just hit the subscribe button. Now, further, we're going to get started, and we're going to get into what's going on. It's not actually, I should say, guys, it's not a subscribe button on the channel. That's not the button. There's a little button down beneath my video. It says join. That's the button you push to be a member, to subscribe to be a member. Okay, so that, just so you guys know. So let's get started. We got a lot to talk about here. I'm going to tell you guys what is this war in Ukraine all about, really? You're going to get the truth from me. It's got everything to do with money. What we have is we have a block forming over in the east. More than forming, it's formed. It's very powerful, extremely powerful. Of course, that's not to say that the Western bloc has a hegemony over our money. And so it's all about control. And the tip of the spear of the Eastern Bloc trying to forge ahead is happening in Ukraine. That's the tip of the spear. That's only the tip of the spear. It's not the whole thing. The whole thing is so much larger than that. It extends all the way out into the Pacific. With China looking at the semiconductor production coming from Taiwan. The world's best semiconductors are produced in Taiwan. The semiconductors that are needed for the latest tech. Now, China can produce semiconductors as well, but Taiwan is the world leader in semiconductor production. And so that's a big thing connected to the money, right? And so what we see here is in these articles that we're going to look at here is China and the CBDC. That's what I entered into the Google search engine. This is what came up. It says Enbridge cross-border CBDC participants, China, Thailand sign local currency agreement. So they got a local currency agreement. It says, I just gave China's digital yuan a test drive. This person says here. It says, how did the world's biggest CBDC perform? It says, China has been testing its central bank digital currency, or CBDC, in selected cities and provinces. Okay, and lists some of them. The next one comes from Reuters. It says, China FX regulator says CBDC features could improve monetary policy. A Chinese foreign exchange regulator official said programmable features of central bank digital currency could help enhance the... Okay, that's the article. I'm not going to go to these articles, but I'm just reading them off here because it gives you guys an idea. what's going on with the central bank digital currencies and how this is a movement that's going to take hold in the West as well, because they got to keep up. You know, we got these two blocks forming out there. They're both switching over to CBDCs. It says Hong Kong bolsters China's CBDC pilot program with local eCNY wallets. Hong Kong residents can use China's CBDC digital yuan in the latest pilot program. Hong Kong expands integration with Chinese eCNY CBDC. The BRICS. China announces a pilot for digital yuan cross-border use. So see, here, cross-border use. China's president on overcoming barriers in CBDC systems. So you can see what's going on here with all this. This is progressing so fast. CBDCs are quick and easy. They're coming. Whether you guys like it or not, see, this is a quantum leap in money. Is this digital currency? There's a quantum leap in money. It kind of got really going with Bitcoin. Of course, Bitcoin's a totally different animal than the central bank digital currency. But I say totally different animal, but it does share an awful lot of characteristics. It shares technology. The technology of making online digital payments system. And it probably, these CBDCs will also share the fact that they have a ledger that can be tracked and traced. So we see where this is going. This is a war for dominance over a new arrangement of the world's financial system. And this is a fight for dominance over it. And this is accelerating, and it's going really, really fast. So will the dollar be able to retain its dominance against this monstrous threat that's coming from the East right now? China is leveling sanctions as well here. China right now has slapped Boeing, Lockheed, Raytheon. These are three big, huge military industrial complex companies. Boeing, Lockheed, and Raytheon with sanctions over arms sales to Taiwan. It says it has been a turbulent week for Sino-US relations. Beijing criticized U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken over his support for Taiwan's new president, and the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs imposed sanctions on U.S. defense firms over Taiwan support. Things are not going well in this ongoing battle for world supremacy of the fiat monetary system that's transforming itself into a digital fiat monetary system. This is going to get worse, a lot worse. This is going to escalate. I can see it now. We're getting to the point now where it's getting serious. The dollar, I can tell you right now, I do not think that the dollar is going to go down without a fight. They're just not going to roll over and say, hey, you guys can have the world. Here, take it. And the other side feels like the dollar has been oppressing them for so long that they would do anything. They're absolutely determined to get out from underneath that something like the Roman tribute, when Rome had the power of the world, and they required tribute. This is not going to end well, guys. This is not going to end well. Now, Russia has begun tactical nuclear weapon drills near the Ukraine border, and it shows them locking and loading here. Vladimir Putin announced the exercise earlier this month as a warning to the West not to escalate tensions further. It says Russian forces have started military drills near Ukraine, simulating the use of a tactical nuclear weapon in response to what Moscow deems threats from Western officials about increased involvement in the conflict. Vladimir Putin ordered the drills earlier this month, so evidently that thing right there that's hanging off of the crane looks to be about maybe 20 feet long and looks to be about 24 inches in diameter, roughly. I'm just guessing because I'm not there, but I can see the man standing next to it, so it gives me a relative idea of the size of the thing, and evidently that's a tactical nuke, or very possibly. It says Russian soldiers take part in the first stage of tactical nuclear weapon drills at an unknown location in the country's southern military district. Photograph, Russian Defense Ministry. So yeah, that's the real deal. That photo come from the Russian Defense Ministry, and it shows them locking and loading. So these tactical nukes can range in size. They're quite a bit smaller than the strategic nukes that they use in a full-scale nuclear war. These are small nukes, but they're still pretty large because oftentimes they're larger than what was dropped in Hiroshima. You know, they're still pretty big blast. They're probably measured in kilotons. You know, it's still pretty powerful. It says Russia has launched a space weapon in the path of a United States satellite. And this comes from the Pentagon. This is from Al Jazeera. The U.S. believes Russia recently launched a satellite that can inspect and attack other satellites in low Earth orbit. Boy, that's not going to go over good with the West. They're probably... This is what they warned about. Remember, about a month or so ago, or maybe a little bit longer ago than that, I remember doing shows on it that they were warning that the Russians are preparing space weapons. Well, here you go. They've launched a space weapon in quotations, in the path of the United States satellite. It's actually starting to happen. The United States says Russia has launched a satellite that U.S. intelligence officials believe to be a weapon capable of inspecting and attacking other satellites. A Soyuz rocket blasted off from Russia, 500 miles north of Moscow on Thursday. And you can just imagine when that thing blasted off, because of the situation in the world right now, that thing probably blasting off probably looked like an ICBM to all intents and purposes, taken off. And I mean, you can just imagine how that rattled if Russia didn't tell them. I don't know whether they told them or not, but I'm just imagining in my mind that would really rattle them if Russia didn't inform them. Did Russia inform them? I don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe they knew what it was the whole time. Well, we're still here, aren't we? Just kidding. But, I mean, this is serious. This is really serious business that was going on right now. The world's a mess. Now, you guys, if you fly a lot, if you're a frequent flyer, if you're in the air, you know, you've probably all been through turbulence. An awful lot of people ignore it. You know, they see the seat belt, whatever, and they need to use the bathroom. They get up and go to use the bathroom anyway when the turbulence is on. But look at the inside of this cockpit. I mean, it's hard to see right on this picture right here. I'll try to start it for a second. It's just this is really an episode of turbulence that is unbelievable that hit a Singapore Airlines flight. It was described as sudden, a dramatic pop, and all hell broke loose on board the Boeing airliner carrying 229 passengers and crew. It says at first the flight was perfectly normal. This guy was traveling to New Zealand for business. He described the flight as quite smooth. And then they were cruising at 37,000 feet. The plane dropped sharply before climbing several hundred feet, then repeated the dip and ascent for about a minute. Passengers were having breakfast, and then bam. And it's horrific. Let's just put it this way. It was horrific. A 73-year-old person died on the flight. says a lot of people needed help. And there was, it goes on to list some of the terrible stuff that happened. Well, you can just picture in your mind people getting shooken around, flying through the air, and stuff like that, you know. And well, of course, when you fly through the air, you generally come to a sudden stop, you know, when the airplane lurches the other way. Very bad what happens. So, in long, short, and short of this, when they tell you there's an area of turbulence coming next time you're up in an airplane, sit down and put your seatbelt on is a smart thing to do, because that seatbelt will hold you in, and it'll probably keep you from getting injured. Now, taking a look at this silver today, you know, she's down a little bit. You can't expect everything to go up in a straight line all the time, guys. It's had a good run. This has been a really good run for silver. We're going to have to wait and see if she starts to take off again now, you know, to the upside. But she's kind of like, she hasn't dropped that much. A 34-cent drop is not a huge drop, considering how much travel we had to the upside. There. Made it up past $32. It's not a significant drop, so I'm noticing that, you know, that we're not getting significant drops, and our highs are taking us higher every time. So let's keep this action going. Gold is $24.11. It's down $9.80 today, which is not a significant drop either. So you got a little drop day. Now, crypto's doing good. Take a look at what Bitcoin's doing. It just crossed $70,000 again. So it's only $2,000 or a little bit more than $2,000 off of its peak. And it looks like it's been climbing. And still is climbing. It's starting to heat up again. So Bitcoin's on its way. Ethereum is at $37.41. And XRP's at 52.9 cents. Hard for XRP to get a lift off of that 50-cent mark. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 15 points today at 39,857. Taking a look at our crude oil today, and we're looking at 77.59. It's down $1.07 on the day so far. Bonds and rates, we're looking at, on the very tip of the long end of the yield curve, we're looking at falling yields. 0.2 of 1 basis point fall on the US 30-year. But we're looking at 1 basis point or 1.2 basis points up on the 10-year at 4.42. And the 30-year's at 4.55. Now, taking a look at our dollar index, and the dollar's going up today, but only fractionally, only a little bit, at 104.8. Yeah, listen, guys, thank you for my new members. Welcome. I'm glad to have you guys here. I'm already planning on some sort of a show I'm going to do on the weekend. And I haven't really thought it out completely yet, but we're getting there, so I'll have to bring my plans together, what kind of a show I'm going to do this weekend. And I really appreciate you guys joining up with the channel. It really helps. And I think it's probably going to start to help my my computer, the YouTube algorithm, possibly. I'm not sure. Well, anyway, listen, I really appreciate you guys out there. Thank you very much, and we will catch you guys in the next show. Bye-bye.